Hello everybody, my name is Herdab and I've been teaching German for 6 years. I've been using Canva in the foreign language classroom now for a few years and I love using Canva. Canva has saved me a lot of time, it has increased student engagement, and it's made projects more fun, interesting, and engaging. I encourage you to stick with me while we talk today about how to use Canva in the foreign language classroom. First, what is Canva? Canva is used to create lots of different media that we consume on a daily basis. We use it for websites and graphics. We create games and posters and menus. You name it, Canva can create it. You can use Canva in the classroom not only to create these things, but you can also help students to create them as well. And that's very powerful because if you have a first-year foreign language student coming into your classroom, they're going to be incredibly excited when they walk away having created something tangible. And that brings about a sense of pride in what they do. So the first question we should ask is, why would we even use Canva? I already have so many different platforms that I use on a daily basis. Well, one of the things I have found in my 6 years of teaching and kind of having a foot in both the non-digital and the digital world, I'm seeing more and more that media is being consumed by students. My own children are having lots of media thrown at them. There are a lot of different ways that students are consuming information. So in my opinion, and what I found is by creating similar types of material coupled with the relationship that they have with you in that class, it makes that media that you create so much more useful. So it is important for us to kind of get out there on social media, maybe to start a YouTube channel. You might also consider creating games, and creating games with students can be a lot of fun, very rewarding. You can also create movies with students, and I think movies are a lot of fun. You can do online content and you can have student portfolios. All of these things are things that you can do with the students and then be able to show them later on how good they've done. And all of these things can be achieved through using Canva. And so these are some of the reasons why we would use Canva. We say, Herdab, that is just too much. My most valuable resource is time. Well, time is going to be what we're going to talk about, how it saves you on time. So Canva saves you time by creating, it basically has thousands of templates. Now, templates from Venn diagrams to pros and cons to reading materials, reading reports, book reports, things like that that you would normally find a worksheet for. They have templates for that. They have templates for creating videos. They have templates for social media. They have templates for posters and banners and different classroom decorations. This saves you time by providing those templates, and then you can go ahead and adjust those options. Adjust the vocabulary, adjust the colors, adjust whatever design elements that you want to adjust. You can do that. The other thing is that you can use their ready-to-use stock images and videos. Now, with a free Canva account, like you have some access to it, but as educators, we have access to the pro level materials. And these are all images and videos that you can use either for creating your stories, you can use them for vocabulary, you can use them for creating posters and elements that you might have in the classroom. These are really great tools to have at the ready to help you have a more interesting and engaging activities that the students will be very excited about. You can also have editable themed materials. For those of you who are very decorative and like to have a certain theme across all of your stuff, you can go ahead and do that. And that's kind of helpful, in my opinion. It's kind of a little bit extra to have that, but I like having that capability. And lastly, there's going to be a function as well that you can set up classes. Now, setting up classes might seem a little bit daunting at first, but honestly, it's very quick and easy to do. So this video is going to contain the following topics. It's going to give a brief overview of the different activities that you can create using Canva, as well as setting up your account. You're going to be able to set up classes and learn how to navigate the tools and insert various mediums depending on the type of project you're working on. Now within the PowerPoint, you're going to have a more specific template and tutorial video for each of the different activities. You're going to find a lot of value in this, and I think that it'll be a lot of fun. All right, welcome. We're going to go ahead and sign up for our Canva account. So go to canva.com and you're going to have the option to continue with Google. So if you have a Google account, you can go ahead and use those credentials. You can also sign in using Facebook and create an account that way, or you can continue with email as well. Now, it's going to basically use those credentials and ask you a few questions. In my case, I've already gotten my account here, and we're going to go ahead and continue into the Canva dashboard. So the second thing you're going to need to do, and this is very important, is up in the top, you see the Education tab. Now this Education tab is something that you'll need to hover your mouse over, and then you're going to click here on Teachers and Schools. Now after you've clicked on Teachers and Schools, you're going to click on this purple button, Get Verified. Now when you click on that button, it's going to ask you a few questions, and if your school is already associated with Canva, they'll be able to verify you very quickly. But if your school is not yet verified with Canva, or somebody at your school doesn't have a Canva account, then it might take a day or so to get access. Now this is going to give you access to pro level features. Just a word of caution though, if you decide to sell any of your products on Teachers Pay Teachers or on any other platforms, understand that an educator's account gives you pro level features. However, the rights and copyrights associated with some of the work there may not be as universal and able to be sold in products. So just something to kind of keep in mind, are well aware and prepared. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take you through Canva and through the dashboard here. It's very simple. There are a couple main sections. The first one here is up in the top. You're going to see things that will help you guide you through Canva. If you ever get stuck, click on the Canva icon and it opens back up to the dashboard. They also have some design spotlights for anything that you're like, I'm kind of needing some inspiration. It gives you some design ideas. It also has stuff for businesses, and for us educators, there are extra tools for us. Now we also have plans and pricing. If you decide that you want to go ahead and create things for profit, you can go ahead and establish a pro account. So that's just down the road if you're interested. The learning tab here also gives you ways to learn more about design and help your designs become more effective. So let's go over to the left-hand side here. And the left-hand side is basically your controls. This is where all of your assignments live, all of your projects, all of the different things that you create as a teacher, you create them here. We're going to go ahead and click on the Education tab, and then we'll come down here to Free Teacher Resources. Now the Free Teacher Resources is a great place to go to find inspiration about how to use Canva. In my opinion, these videos are wonderful. They take you through the clicks and they kind of give you some practical advice on how to utilize Canva to its full capability. Some of the activities that I have found, or the videos I have found the most interesting, are how to design video activities, designing comic strip activities, and I believe as well designing storybook activities. Now Canva has their own storybooks, but I also have a template as well that will be able to help you design some great engaging storybooks. So I encourage you to look through that. There is a link to this in the PowerPoint presentation, so you should be able to have access, a direct link to that as well. Okay, so from here, you're going to click on the Canva button in the top left. Now this will take us back to the dashboard. And if you look down below here, there's a couple of options here. A couple of them that we're going to be using today. There is a home button, which will again take you back here at home. There's a template button, which we'll be looking at next. There's also a projects button. The projects button is similar to a storage or a filing cabinet for all of your projects, as well as a class button. Now we'll talk about setting up classes here shortly, but the class button is there on the left as well. So let's go ahead and jump into templates and see what kind of things we can find. Now, there's a lot of different ways to search for templates. When we click on the templates, you're going to see a bunch of things. First, we can type in a template up at the top, and you can find lots of templates and get some ideas. So if you want to type in worksheets, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can type in Facebook post, or also if you have Google Classroom. Google Classroom headers, Google Meet video backgrounds, and good luck cards. So there's a lot of different things you can create. So the other way to search for different types of templates is to come over on the left-hand side. Now, it has the education here, and there's a lot of different things as far as education goes, presentations, videos, posters, worksheets as well. And there's also some flashcards and storyboards, comic strips, you name it, they've got it. So you can search your type of template here first as well. You can also scroll down here in the middle, and I'm going to show you a couple of other places I like to look. Now, you can browse by subject. Foreign language is not here. However, what is here are subjects that you might be teaching in your foreign language. So for example, if you do a unit on computers, you could have the computer science button there for you. Or if you're doing numbers, you might click on the math one, and you can take those different worksheets and adjust it to create something a little bit different that suits your needs. As well, down here you have classroom decor kits. So these are different decorations for your classroom. You can click on this button here on the right, and it gives you lots of great ways to decorate your classroom, to present yourself to the students, so that the students see that you're friendly and the class is going to be fun and that they are going to feel welcome in your classroom. So the other way as well, they do have the education presentations, videos, and all the things that you would generally use in a classroom up here on the top. And you can scroll through those as well and kind of just explore. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take you on a short tour through the templates. Over on the left-hand side, click on templates. Then what we're going to do is come over here to the right. We are going to test out and see the worksheets. Now, on the worksheet templates, there are a lot of templates here. You say, well, I don't want to go through all of these worksheets. I want to actually go through something that I'm going to go over in class. Well, I'll tell you, they don't have world languages. They don't have Spanish, French, German, Russian, Chinese. So what we have to do is think about the subject that we're teaching. For example, if we're learning about numbers, we might get a worksheet on math. If we're learning about pictures and nouns and verbs and stuff like that, we might go to English. If we wanted to go to social studies, we could go to social studies. If we wanted to go to science, we could go to science. So if we have like a science type topic, it might be worth it to have that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the social studies and see what kind of examples they have. So as you scroll down through here, they do have a lot of amazing worksheets. A lot of these worksheets I have not seen because I haven't explored this part, so we're in this together. What I love about this is, one, there's obviously a heavy emphasis on Cinco de Mayo, Dia de los Muertos, and a lot of country flags. You might have a flag matching activity. There's stuff about Australia. What I love about this one though, with the Australian Capital Territory, you could use that and change out the different items. For example, you might take the Australia map and put the map of a country that you want the students to be able to do. So again, it's about thinking about the template more than the actual sheet itself. Unless, of course, you are in Australia, in which case, lucky you. So there are a lot of great things. If you notice down here, they have a more like this. They give you some suggestions based on the template that you chose. Let's go ahead and jump back out and see if we can find one more type of worksheet that we haven't done. So let's go ahead and look into science. Now, if we look at science again, a lot of great ways to use this in our classes as well. We have a nice vocabulary sheet. That's what I see. I see a vocabulary matching sheet. I see an opportunity for students to spell out the different words for the numbers here, okay? We do have word searches. We do have some math drills. You could incorporate that into your language. And you can also have here, you have a, ooh, that's interesting. So my science project. Perhaps you have the students to conduct a simple science experiment, and we have the information here. So tons of fun. And again, lots of different objects within this particular template that you can use. So lots of different ways to look at this and to streamline your time. So the next thing I'm going to show you is within the videos. So with the videos, I'm going to type it up here in the top first. There are a lot of different ways that you can go with the videos. The video templates they have are designed for all sorts of things, but we're going to go to educational videos just because it's a little simpler. And we're going to go ahead and use something that looks sort of familiar. So we have this young lady here. She's describing herself. There's some about me, some favorite things that the person likes, some fun facts, and closing thing. So what I love about this is you can have the students prepare their own video, put it right this way, right there into the circle, and it crops it nicely. You can change all the text here, and you could have the student prepare a presentation about themselves here within Canva. So I love this because it really looks sleek, it looks nice, and it's very fancy, and it's something that the student can really be proud of. So let's go on to the last one, and we're going to learn how to manipulate these things. So the storybooks, if you type in story, you just see it auto-populate, and you can go to storybooks. So the storybooks are really great in my opinion. Now these storybooks, if you click on them, you notice a couple things. They are laid out just like your regular story. They have some text here, as well as the dinosaur or the pictures, and they basically have a story there for you, okay? And this right here is a way, like you could take the students and do a couple of things. One, have them rewrite a story, or like I like to do it, I like to have them create a story together as a class, okay? And there's a lot of great images here, and they're already designed for you to be able to use. So I do love that aspect of it. And if we scroll down, we also see other items here as well. I love all of the different stories that they have. And again, these can spur on creating your own story. So I love that part about it. So let's go ahead and take a peek at one of these stories. Let's go ahead and go to Denver the Diver. In order to do this, you just click on Customize this template. Now customizing the template is very easy, but I'm going to show you a couple of things here. This right here is your workspace. Okay, down at the bottom right, there is a slider button. This slider button enables you to zoom in very closely or to zoom out a little bit further to see your entire project. So if we notice as well, as we float our cursor over the different items, you notice that purple box appears. These are the different elements. So if you click on them, you can drag them, and they are able to be repositioned, recolored, moved to different places. You could duplicate them. You can do a lot of different things with these. You could even animate them. For example, let's go ahead and animate it. So he fades in, or you can have him swim in different directions, or you can breathe him. Either way. So that's an option for you to do when you're considering designing these. Now, over on the left-hand side, you notice we have a panel, and the panel that's highlighted is templates. Now, when the templates panel is highlighted, you get to see all the different pages that you could possibly ever add. There is an elements button. On the elements button, you can type a word in here. For example, if you wanted a shape, you could type that in, and you'll get lots of shapes. If you wanted to put a cat, you could put a cat. And to do so, you really just have to click and drag this cat into the story. Why would there be a cat in the water? I'm not sure, but there is now. You know how sometimes those stories go, they're lots of fun when you can get creative. You can also do a couple of other things. You can further narrow down your cat search to photos, to graphics, or to videos, or to audio. There is a way to do an audio. We click and drag that on there, it meows. That's great. All right, so the next thing you can do is you can upload your own images, videos, or audio. I love that you can do this. The other thing is that you can use Google Drive or Dropbox, Facebook, or Instagram and connect all of these on any of these platforms here. The other thing is that we can input more text. So if, for example, you get to this is going to have there we go, there's the story. And you want to get to the text, and say you want to add more text that's already there. You can add more subheadings. You just click on them and they appear, and you can go ahead and put those text boxes in. Lots of different big, bold text as well. They are very interesting. But me personally, I'm a big fan of the basic text. You notice here when you click on the text, look at the top and how everything changes to like a word processor function. But if you click on an item there within it, an image, then you can have some different options, either animate, crop, flip. So if he's facing the wrong direction, you can also edit that image, and it will give you a lot of different filters as well. So over on the left as well, there are 3 dots, and these are the more. Okay, so go ahead and click on that, and there's going to be a couple of options that you can do to customize your own sidebar. The best ones, in my opinion, are the photos. Okay, that allows you to use more photos and draw from a resource of photos. I also like the audio. The audio is really helpful. You also have videos. So when you use the videos, for example, if I click on that, you notice on the left-hand side, there's a videos tab. And that videos tab is going to give me access to all of the stock videos footage that I would like. So in a storybook, it's not super helpful if I were to take this video footage and put it on there. However, if I were to take this story and embed it into my learning management system, into Schoology, into Google Classroom, it might be kind of fun to post that up and have the students watch the story. So some other things that they have are backgrounds, and I love the backgrounds. So when you click on that, it gives you a lot of other options. So if I were to take this background and put it there, now my scuba diver is no longer in the water. So kind of fun. So let's click on more again. And you do have a couple of other options. If you are a teacher who loves Bitmoji, bless your heart, there's Bitmoji. There is also a character builder. And I won't click on all of these because I'm going to put them up on a bar. But the character builder allows you to create your own custom people characters. If you scroll down, you have a couple of other options that you can draw from. I do recommend YouTube, especially if you're going to be doing some sort of embedding of videos. I would recommend that. Just make sure that you do embed them, okay? And again, you can also search these videos as well. The other ones I recommend perhaps are Pexels or Pixabay. These are both stock photo sites, stock video sites that you can go ahead and access and get more content. And if you scroll down even more, they are connected to your Google Drive, that you can enable that if you'd like. You can also enable Google Photos. So if you have photos from your own personal Google Photos place, you can go ahead and add those in as well. So there are lots of different ways to do that. Now to get into some of the layout here, as I mentioned before, as you click on each of these different items, the bar up at the top will change. And you can change the different elements as well. You can even change the name of the person. So I selected, and I want to call him Steve the Diver, and now he's Steve the Diver. Okay, so there are also extra images here. These are different fishes that you can put in for the scenery, and some different sea life as well, and different types of positions and poses for the character. So it's a great way to be able to share that with students. So what I recommend is to kind of play around with it, use the different templates that they have, and kind of have some fun with it. Incorporate the different elements that you have here. You can really get creative. If you typed in fish, let's say you wanted more fish, they have lots more fish that you could look for. So these are all great tools to help you do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a second and take you on a tour on how to set up your classes. Now, over on the left-hand side, you notice I have a German here, a German class, and I'm going to teach you how to do that for yourself. So up in the top right, you're going to see your account settings. If you click on account settings, you're going to see a couple of items here on the left. Now, when you want to create a class, you go to billing and plans. And when you click on your billing and plans, you can create a new class. Now, it depends on you, but when you're creating a class, I prefer to keep it as simple as possible because if you create too many classes, it can be very confusing where different templates are. So we're going to keep this very simple. And let's say this is for my Spanish class. And we go ahead and create new class. Now, once we've created our class, we're going to see a couple of changes. Over in the top left, you're going to see the Spanish button drop down, and this basically will be where you will organize all of your classes. So for example, on mine, you can notice I have German, German 2 Advanced, German 3, German 2. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually get into the class and customize it. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to see what the class page looks like. When you set up your class, it is important to keep in mind that you do need to set up the class and then invite students, and then you get a class button over here on the left. Now, my particular class is German, so what I've done here is I have kind of a classroom banner here, and within the classroom banner I can do a couple of things. I can edit the title of the class. I can also search the different presentations and projects that we've done with the students. You can also access the different designs, folders, templates, apps, and people that you've invited into your class, as well as some of the groupings that you have created. We have three dots up in the top right, and we can add more members, we can create a different banner, and we can also create a new folder and rename the team. So a high degree of customization is what you have here. Again, this is kind of above and beyond, but it is worth it. Once you set the Canva up with the students, they're able to jump right in and access all of these templates and be able to create things very quickly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you how I use Canva in the classroom in a direct teaching sort of environment. Now, a couple of items I recommend having first is a whiteboard or a wall to project on. You do need a projector, and it can be a ceiling mounted projector or a projector on a cart. You can also use a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse. Now, these three things really make it so that when you deliver the instruction, it's very fun and easy, but it also allows you to move around throughout the classroom and co-create with students versus being up in front of the classroom and just lecturing to them. The first thing that you want to do is you're going to want to click up here, add a subheading, or whichever one produces the best font for you. And I like to go ahead and use the subheading personally. And I go ahead and I set my text box where I would like to. Now, as I speak with the students, obviously my students, you can tell right there, or right there, they are very engaged with my story. And I begin by telling them, hey, can you tell me which one of these characters is going to be the main character of our story? And they're like, well, we want the girl to be the main character. I say, okay, well, what is the girl's name? And they say, oh, her name is Hilda. So I teach them, I put, there is a girl named Hilda. And I say, what is Hilda like? Well, she likes animals. Oh, okay. I could say, Hilda likes animals. As we go through this, it takes a little bit of getting used to going back through and readjusting your text boxes. But once you get going and you start asking them questions about where she lives, maybe Hilda lives by the sea. By what sea? By the Caspian Sea. And as you talk with the students and you co-create the story with them, this does two things, in my opinion. One, it allows the students to see the story evolve from their own thoughts. So you're taking what's in their minds and you're making it real. Now, you're doing this in the language, so those words have a lot more meaning than if you just did it yourself. And if you're sitting next to a student and you're asking them for their opinion, side by side, it tends to help them say, wow, I'm part of this. I'm not just listening to a teacher. As you go on and you create more of this story, you're able to put in lots and lots of details. By putting it up and typing the story in, and this is my second point, is when you type the story in, it slows you down as a teacher. And this is important because we all want to slow things down in the first place, to take things slow with students. And it does that because, especially if you're a slow typer, I'm a fast typer, but even if you are a slow typer, fast typer, it forces you as the teacher, the one delivering the instruction, to slow down. What can you do after this? This particular presentation is included in your PowerPoint presentation as well as the Canva checklist. But you can also go ahead and do a couple of other things with it. I could post it to my LMS. I could put it up in my learning management system as a view-only link. I could create a template with it. I could also embed it into a website. I like to embed these into my learning management system because if we do not finish the story, and we finish a story much later, it will automatically update within the learning management system. And I find that very helpful. So there's a lot of different applications as far as displaying this and sending it out to the students, but you can also send it out as an assignment. What I like to do is make a copy of it, and then I'd like to go ahead and take different words that I wanted to focus on. And, if I wanted to say, I want to use some closed text, I might change this very quickly, okay, on the copy. So I would change the word and put underlines and make a copy of the presentation, of course. In my opinion, this is a very effective way to deliver instruction where students are able to co-create. You're able to go from standing in front of the classroom to sitting next to the students and to creating something together as a class. Okay, so now that we have completed our project with our students, we're going to go ahead and make assignments out of the project. Now, you're going to have to come up with a task, but as far as making the assignment within Canva, we're going to show you how to do that here in this video. So click on the top right on Share, and then you're going to have a couple of options to send this assignment out to students. Now, depending on what you're going to do with it or how you want the students to interact with it, simply sharing the design with your particular class might be beneficial. So if I shared it with them, it would show up within their class page. Then they can edit it, comment, or view, depending on what your task is. Now, this only allows them to really see the design, so you might use this option for doing a class template of some sort, or maybe a class design project of some sort. But those are kind of the reasons why I would share this design. But you might also share the design with an administrator or another fellow teacher. So if you look down a little bit further, you see the word assignment. If you click on assignment, you can choose where the students submit the work. You can select Canva, which I recommend, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, or another learning management system like Canvas, Blackboard, or Schoology. Now, with Canva being, in my opinion, the easiest and best way to do this, I click on Canva. And you notice how it says that it's sharing it as a new design for each student. Then you're going to head and use that. There's really no other options here, but if you go over here to the instructions, you can add additional instructions of what you want the students to do with the work. So then we click on Next. When we click Next, we see who is this assignment for. Within here, we can type in German. And you notice here I have a couple of teams set up within Canva, and I can go ahead and select any of those. So notice here where it says the eyeball and its line through it, you want to change it to Can View. What this will do is will open up the template for the student, but then the student will make a copy of that work. So if you want them to maybe add some adjustments or make their own design or to create new text, this is the option for that. And then you would click on publish and it would show up within Canva. So there are a couple of other ways that we can share this out to our students. One of the ways that I personally like to do it is if I click on the three dots that say more, you'll notice a couple of ways that we can share this out. When a student is gone for a day or two or three, so what I would do is I would take the embed code. I would click on embed and then I would embed and then it would give me a link. Now this particular link, if you copy it and you post it into either a Google Sites or a learning management system like Schoology, Canvas, or Blackboard, Google Classroom, it will show up as the story. And the students will be able to interact with that story. Not only will they be able to interact with that story, but they'll be able to see what they missed on the days that they were gone. So if you're one of those teachers that doesn't like to have their students gone, then this is a way for them to kind of stay in the know about what they're doing in class. Again, we're going to click on more. I'll show you one or two other things that will help you do this. So we also have other ways to share it out. You can share it by using the template. The template link will generate but you can also publish it out to other teachers. So if I click on the template link, I click where I want it to go. I'll have it go into my thing, and then I will be able to add it to that. And I'll publish template. It'll give me a link, and that link I'll be able to share. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and I recommend kind of exploring and see how to use each of the different things. Even just something as simple as a QR code. If you gather up all the QR codes, put them onto one sheet, the student has the ability to use their phone, take a picture of the QR code, and go to that link and see the story without making it an assignment, but still give students the opportunity to practice their language. Okay, now I'm going to share with you some of the activities that I have done within my classroom. These activities do have a link to each of these templates within the PowerPoint, as well as the tutorial video. If you click on the computer screen here, you will be able to watch me on YouTube going through the steps to create these games and teaching materials. Quartet is a wonderful game. It's played very similar to Go Fish. Instead of having 4 of the same card, you want to get one category with 4 different words that fall into that same category. For example, you might have a unit on body parts. So you will put the head as the category, eyes, nose, mouth, and ear as the different cards. And as they play it, they're learning vocabulary, not just to learn it, but to learn how to say it, to ask for it, to listen to their partner as they speak it. So it's a wonderful game. It really supports conversation in the classroom. The next activity we have are conversation cards. This particular conversation game I have found to be very successful with students. This is also another activity that you would print out on cardstock and then cut them out and or laminate them. Basically what they are questions on the cards, and on the other side of the card you're going to have some suggested answers using constructions that you might realistically use. Now these are just suggestions. I recommend if you're going to use these, go ahead and check through and make sure that you take the possible answers and fit them to your cultural context, because it really helps out. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what have I been taught? Now last year and many years past, I've also had students come in a couple weeks into the school year and they say, oh my goodness, Herr Dab, what have we gone over up until now? I say, well, we have a little study guide for this. So what I created was a study guide that kind of helps the students have as an anchor for what they need to know. So many students would bring this into class because we would use these words frequently. This was a level 1 class, and they were able to review the material on a regular basis. So there are a couple of ways to have students do this, and the way that I recommend is to print this out onto regular paper and then go over it together with the students and have a game. Hey guys, what do we remember from the numbers? What do we remember from the colors? Let's see if we can do this together, or give them a time to do it by themselves and then come together as a class and fill in the gaps of information that they may have. The next thing is an illustrated word list. Now, this one, in my opinion, is best given out electronically. The students would type in terms up in the top left, and they would find words like, for example, if I were to type in the word kitchen, I would get many different items in the kitchen. I would find the picture that would represent kitchen, click and drag it over to the illustrated word list, and type in the label. So in my opinion, this helps out a lot because you're not just seeing one picture, you're seeing 10 pictures, and then your brain has to sort out or which picture the words are connected with. The next thing that we have is a storybook template. There are a lot of storybook templates out there, and this is the one that I use in class, and it's a great way to compose class stories. So students can insert their text in the text boxes, and they can also insert their own pictures and art. If they're not quite yet to the point where they can create their own stories, or maybe they don't want to make their own stories, then you can also have them create the story as a class, and you can have them type in the text, write in the text, or have their own illustrations either via Canva, or you could print this out and have the students take notes on the story as you are going through it and have them illustrate it. So there's really a lot of ways to deliver this instruction, but this is the storybook template that I find to be the simplest and easiest to use. The next one that we have is a talking presentation. Now, the talking presentation is a great way for AP and IB students to practice their presentational speaking skills. So a talking presentation is a great way for students to start talking. So especially if you are an AP or IB student, this is a great skill to have. But oftentimes students are reluctant, they get nervous. So by doing this on Canva, you can do a couple of things. One, you can have the instructions there for the students and they can take it home and do the work at home. The other thing as well is you can take a little text box and you can type in there the items that you want them to use, and you can type in there the phrases and structures you would like them to use. Now you could also insert other pictures and images as well. This is a great way to scaffold that kind of work. So the next thing, of course, is a journal template. If you do this at the beginning of class every day and you embed this into a Google Sites or into a learning management system, it will automatically update for you as the students work in Canva. They don't have to keep updating it within their learning management system. Journaling is a wonderful way. It's a way that I have found to work on it, but this keeps down the paperwork and makes it so that students don't have to lose anything or books or anything like that. This is a way to do it digitally if you are ever interested. The other thing here we have is a menu template. Now, a menu template is great because it shares with students all of the different elements of a good formatted menu. Many other things that we have that is media has a format. This video itself has a format. And so by creating this menu template, you're allowing the students to see the different items, and that helps them to understand and to visualize what kind of elements that they need. The menu template is here though. There are a lot of menu templates on Canva. The link to my template is here on this presentation. It's great resource, but there are other ones as well. I do include instructions for students on my menu just to kind of help them understand. There are some Facebook groups out there designed to help you go on your Canva journey. These are the 3 groups that I recommend. Thank you everybody for watching my video and for watching it all the way through to the end. I do have a YouTube channel. I encourage you to subscribe. It's a lot of fun, and I do have playlists that are dedicated to creating foreign language materials, and the one creating digital LOT materials, that is designed to help teachers understand how to use digital platforms. On there, I do go over different ways to use technology to create new ways of presenting your information to students, to involve them, to engage them. It's a lot of fun. Thank you again for all of your hard work that you do and for helping the next generation understand languages and get excited about it. Have a great day.
Then he kept walking on down the road, and I disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote. It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one